Bonjour à tous, bonjour à toutes. Ici Asmaa Coppery, and I am back with a new episode today. And it is about opening up to people. And why is it so hard to open up to people? So before starting the episode, just wanted to say that I got myself flowers. And okay, fresh flowers. If you know me, you know I hate, hate is a big word, but I don't like fresh flowers. I would rather have dried flowers. But since it's almost the end of peony season, and it's been a month that I've been looking for peonies, and apparently they're very extremely rare and very impossible to find. Last week I was walking, and last week or 2 weeks ago. Well, I am recording this episode very early. I'm trying to get ahead of time, just in case, so that I don't repeat the mistake that I did last time, and I forgot, or I didn't have time to record anything. But yeah, this is okay. End of story. But the point is to say that I got myself flowers, like my story said. I can get myself flowers, and I actually got them because. It's been a week that I was telling that I'm gonna get flowers, and I just didn't, and it was Friday. Okay, let me tell you why I didn't get flowers. And I kept saying that I would get them and I didn't. It's because getting flowers, since I work all day, I was wondering, where am I gonna put them? Am I gonna put them in the office or at home? And if I leave them at home, I will not be able to enjoy them, because I'll be working all day and only see them at night. Like, what's the point? So I ended up getting them on Friday, and they're so pretty. And over the weekend, every time I wake up, I'd forgot that I have flowers, and then I'll see them and I'll start looking at them. And trust me, peonies are beautiful when they are blooming. So if you can get peonies right now, just get them. If not, just get any kind of flowers that you might think you like. And yeah, and romanticize your life and bring out the feminine energy in you, and I don't know, pamper yourself, have a princess treatment for yourself by getting flowers. Okay, so let's get a little bit serious about the subject of the day, and it's about opening up to people and why it is very difficult and very emotional. And it's like we have a few possible explanations and a variety of reasons for that. The first one is this is the word I struggle with. I'm just gonna say it in French. Vulnérabilité. And since opening up requires a lot of exposing our inner thoughts, feelings, and experiences, which can make us very vulnerable, it involves sharing parts of ourselves that we may typically keep private, and this vulnerability can trigger feelings of fear, shame, or judgment. I can speak for myself because I'm very comfortable with this subject. It is very difficult for me to open up to people, mainly because I feel like opening up to someone, it's like showing them your scars, and sometimes you're not very comfortable doing that because you are, it's like for you, it's a weakness being vulnerable to someone. And when you are opening up, it means that you are facing the problem and you're facing your emotions, and instead of avoiding them, you kind of speaking them out loud. And this can be very difficult if you are it's like getting yourself out of the shell, or out of a shell that you've been protecting yourself in, and the moment that you start being vulnerable and talk to someone about your problems, this can be very difficult sometimes. Okay, so we have vulnerability, and we also have the fear of rejection. This is one of many reasons why it's very difficult to open up. So When we open up to someone, we reveal our true selves and risk the possibility of rejection or negative reactions. We might worry that the other person will not accept or understand us, which can be emotionally challenging. Because sometimes, if you open up to the wrong people, they would not know how to react with the information that you dumped to them, and it's kind of would feel like they are rejecting what you're saying and want to understand what you're trying to say by opening up. This can be very triggering and very challenging for your emotions. Another reason is because of past experiences. And since you've had a lot of previous negative experiences, such as betrayals, when you would open up to someone, heartbreaks, when you would trust someone, or a dismissive response when you're sharing your feelings, this can make it harder to trust others and open up. So if you've been hurt before, you may be more cautious about sharing your feelings or personal information. I will talk about it for me, because I can give an example of past experiences. Is that I remember sometimes, I don't know, like few years ago, I opened up to someone about like something that bothered me or like triggered me. Like I think it was something happening in my life, and the other person was like, I don't know what's the exact word, but they were like, in French, they said, moi je console pas les gens. J'ai pas l'habitude de consoler les gens et n'attends pas que je te console, which means like I'm not gonna, what's the word? Okay, I'll think of it, I'll let you know. But like, I'm not here to kind of console you. What's that in English? I don't know, but like this is for me past experience, which kind of led to a heartbreak, because I felt like I'm not supposed to share and open up to someone that I would trust, because I would not feel understood and that my feelings would not be valid or have a meaning. But like honestly, I'm fine with that. But like, this is like an example of past experience that happened to me. And there's also emotional self-regulation. So sharing our emotions and thoughts, they can be very emotionally intense. And it requires us to confront and express our feelings, which may be difficult if we struggle with emotional self-regulation or have experienced trauma or distress events in the past. Let me give you an example on how this would feel, like if it was about me, or like I just want to try to kind of understand, like, and help you understand what I'm trying to say with emotional self-regulation. So like when you're sharing your emotions with someone and the other person is not receiving well your feelings, and you kind of have a problem of struggling with sharing your feelings because you're not used to it, it would feel like inside is a void, like inside your body is a void. Your heart kind of gets smaller and smaller until it crumbles down and you feel nothing. And I don't know if you've watched, and this is how you feel sad. Like it's not like an outside sadness, it's like an inside sadness. I don't know if you can get it, but if you've watched Queen Charlotte's episode of of Bridgerton, there's an episode where she's talking to King George, and when she confronted him about something, a scene, it was like their wedding day, and she told him something, and instead of being compassionate and like understanding her point of view, he yelled at her and screamed at her. And this is where you would see her kind of not step down, but like go back, or like elle revient, enfin, I don't know how to say it, but like so she took a step back, and you'll see in her face kind of like emotions crumble down. And this is how it would feel with emotional self-regulation. So she was like, and how she would react is that, okay, I'm not gonna push it. This person does not want to understand me, and I don't feel like seeing. I'm just gonna kind of step away from this feeling. And this is how she would emotional self-regulate herself. There's also cultural and social factors. So cultural and social norms, they play a huge role in shaping how we perceive and express emotions. So some cultures, they may encourage emotional restraint or value self-reliance, which can make opening up emotionally challenging and nearly impossible. I remember I had a discussion with one of my cousins, and she said that when she was younger, her parents, they would like scold her, and when she would start crying, and which, like, as a kid, crying means showing your emotions and getting your emotions out there, her parent would tell her to stop crying. And this is sometimes a very cultural thing, that crying means weakness, and weakness is not acceptable. So like, if you want to show your emotions, don't show your emotions in a way. Then there's also another thing, is that the lack of support of understanding. And I feel like this is like the most common. Why people find it very difficult and hard to open up to others. It's like, if we have had limited experiences of being supported or like understood when we have opened up in the past, we may become hesitant to do so again. Feeling unheard or invalidated can lead to emotional guardedness, or like you cannot protect yourself because of many previous experiences where you felt like you were not supported and or understood. And this is this is kind of the main reason why a lot of people don't feel safe opening up to others, because sometimes when you open up, this is why I said that when you're gonna open up to someone, try to make sure that they have good intentions, and be careful with that, because some people, when they have bad intentions, they can use that as a weapon against you, and they can weaponize your emotional distress, or like your emotional discussion that you had with them. They can use it against you. This is why it's very, very, very important when you open up to someone, and this is why it's very difficult as well, is when trying to know the person who is in front of you, who you're gonna open up to, before doing so. Overcoming these challenges often requires time, trust, and supportive relationships, and it can be really helpful to gradually open up to people who you trust. Again, people who you trust and feel safe with, seeking professional help if needed as well. And remember that everyone has their own pace and comfort level when it comes to opening up, and it's important to respect and honor your own boundaries and their boundaries. So, like, if you want to open up to someone, and it's usually maybe not to complain, but because you're going through something in your life, you tend to open up to your partner, to your best friend, to someone you trust in your life. But before actually opening up and starting the conversation, and in order to feel heard, understood, and valued, is to ask for permission of other person if they are willing to receive this kind of information. And I don't remember who said that, but I think it's genius, because if you want to feel safe opening up to someone you trust, you need to ask their permission, because again, everyone is going through a lot of stuff in their life, and if you wanna, and you as a good friend, or like as a good partner, you don't want to be you don't want to add discomfort to them, like you don't want to add a weight to what they're going through. This is why you need to ask permission if they are willing to listen to you, to understand you. And this is where you can say, I'm looking for comfort, or I am looking for solutions, so that this conversation can go